Why do things fall down when you drop them? When you jump up, why do you land on the ground instead of floating off into space? Of the four fundamental forces of nature, gravity is the most intuitive one. We experience gravity every second of our lives, so it makes sense that our brains are evolutionarily equipped to intuitively grasp the effects of gravity, at least here on Earth. But what is gravity exactly? How does this mysterious force work and affect the fabric of space-time? Why does it affect the very nature of the
gravity? So I'm pretty good with it. So I'm not distracted by the more philosophical side of that. Why does it work?
Gravity is a natural phenomenon by which all things are gravitational acceleration. There's some answer pretty nearly.
One day, I think we're going to find some way that they're connecting to each other, but I don't know what that is right now. But I know my equations work. He called it spooky. It was spooky to him. That's his word. Spooky action at a distance. Fast forward 230 years. Get to Albert Einstein. Gravity is the curvature of space and time. And you're moving on the curvature of that fabric. That's gravity. Oh my gosh, is it even a force then? Is it even... So there's no need to think of it as an action at a distance.
Newton's theory enjoyed its greatest success when it was used to predict the existence of ordinary. According to general relativity, gravity is not a force, but instead is caused by the curvation of space-time caused by matter. Although Newton's theory has been superseded by Albert Einstein's general relativity, most modern gravitational calculations are still made using Newton's theory because it is simpler to work with and it gives sufficiently accurate results for most applications involving sufficiently small masses, speeds, and energies. Perhaps the most extreme example of gravity in the known universe is a supermassive black hole, from which nothing, not
it moves along the curvature of space. You don't need an action at a distance. There is no action. It can't do anything else but do that. It's like you have a funnel, and you take a ball and you roll it on the funnel. The ball can only do what that funnel tells it to do. And it'll if you give it a sideways motion, it'll start spinning around. There's no magic hand coming in there. It is following the curvature of its space-time continuum, this construct that you provided for it. So now, I can describe what gravity is doing. I even have a mechanism for it. Are you going to still ask me why is there gravity? Is that answer not fulfilling enough to you, even in the why department? You say, well, why would a particle curve space? You can just keep doing that. That's fine. But is there a point where you'll be satisfied with the answer? Oh, that answers my why. There's a point where it's not especially productive to continue to think about the world that way. I'm telling you, gravity really is the curvature of space and time. That gets us the Big Bang, and or energy will curve the fabric of space and time. Why does matter and energy curve the fabric of space and time? Okay, that's a frontier. We're still working on that.
The gravitational attraction of the original gaseous matter.
Explain how an astrolabe works. Represents Rigel. This point, which I labeled in green, represents Betelgeuse. There's a point for Altair. There's another point over there. Each of these points represents points in the sky. And
so it's about a third of the way. There's Virgo. It's about a third.
That the relationship of the sun and these two stars on that particular day is this. Watch it. I'm just going to have it go across the sky. There's the sun setting in the west. There are those two stars rising in the east. A little bit later in the day, the sun is rising.
And it seems that something went wrong with stage separation. Now, the Soyuz is based on an old 1950s rocket called the R-7, and back then they weren't really sure that they could light major booster engines in flight. In fact, they were lighting the engines with what is essentially big matchsticks. And it was pretty common back then, don't worry.
So they would light all the engines on the ground, and about 2 minutes into flight, these would peel off and spin off. And this would form what's called the Korolev Cross, a beautiful sight in the sky with the main core booster heading off into space rupture. Now, if you actually watched this live on NASA TV, it was a little confusing because we had plenty of time to make sure.
We're listening to some of the audio from NASA TV as it exploded over there, and they're trying to figure out precisely what happened. It was supposed to be taking about 5,000 pounds of NASA cargo aboard this rocket to the International Space Station, taking off from the Wallops Flight Facility in eastern Virginia. But shortly, within seconds of takeoff, you saw what happened. You saw the